Welcome to the Guys Unpacked. This is Dre.
This is Rich, and we are back with another brand new episode for you guys. Make sure you follow us on all social media platforms. Make sure you click the button, like and subscribe, share it, tell a friend. Come on back, and
yeah, we're on all platforms. So you have no excuse. Just check in, let people know, and yeah, let's go. So what's up, Rich?
I mean, everything, bro.
Everything's good.
Everything,
bro.
My kid won another.
I saw like she came first overall.
She came
right?
first overall.
That's big, bro.
So I missed the meet though because I had I was up here working, but
sure. But still, that's dope.
She texted me. She was all happy and surprised about it. So
that's dope.
But here I missed the meet because I had to shoot a party this weekend.
Sure.
Shout out to S. Had his birthday party this weekend. Animal came out. Good look. Nice little venue and everything. So.
I'm sure that venue is going to be used very frequently if I have to put money on it.
So here's the thing with the venue though. It's in DC. So now we run into the whole people that want to come out vaccinated, etc. So I mean, it had a decent enough turnout of people who did come out who went ahead and got their vaccinations and everything. So, but honestly, right now, I just think there's so much going on with the rules changing because I was hearing like certain places are like starting to lower their restrictions. That's not DC.
Well, I don't know if you saw. I mean, and we're not going to go too far into this one, but like California actually is moving toward no more mandate for masks indoors.
I could see that.
So like I expect DC is going to follow suit at some point. Not right this second, of course, but at some point because we do have to get back to regular world.
And I think like when you hear a lot of people talking about like dealing with it more as an endemic than a pandemic, just kind of something that is here, right? We just have to adjust to.
I mean, the variants are going to continue coming out, so ultimately, we have to figure out how to balance protecting ourselves and living.
Right. So, what else? Oh, I know you and I saw the flyer.
Right.
All right, go ahead. Talk.
We haven't gone out too heavy yet, but Maggie and I are coming together to put together a series of events. Mm-hmm. Just something a little different than what we've done in the past. So normally, as you know, when we play music, we kind of play everything. Mm-hmm. Now we're gonna actually like dig a little bit deeper per genre. So each event will focus and feature on like one specific genre called Strictly the Best. And that way, like, we can let it breathe, not have to really force it, and we can go deep into genre. So the very first one is going to be... Hey, yo, Mark!
I'm just playing, okay?
You're an ass. So yeah, the very first one is going to be March 20th. Uh-huh. Get tickets. He's going to put the link right here. So just click on that link. And yeah, it's going to be Soca. So Maji and Freeze from New York is going to be featured. And we're just going to make this pop.
I remember the last time, because I remember Majestic had tried to do this before, but then, the world shut down and everything.
Right.
It was even before that.
Yeah.
But I remember the Strictly the Best he did when he had Freeze here the last time.
Right. And sell off.
Yeah, because you know what? I would say it was one of those parties I went to where him and Freeze,
their chemistry is there.
Right. And nothing got repeated all night. So they went deep into the craze. They came back with new, and it's just like you don't hear a lot of that.
Sure.
Where you could go to a party and you'll hear 3 DJs and all of them must play the same song.
At some point.
Maybe not all the same songs, but you got
there's
a couple
overlap
of big
between them. Yeah.
Right. Where it was a good look. So I was actually looking forward to another one of those. So
it's crazy because to your point, like he started off as just that event. I don't think he thought about it as something to continue. Mm-hmm. Or if he did, like he just hadn't put it into work. So when he called me and was like, "Yo, I want to do this. I want to revamp it and bring it out." I was like, "Let's do this." Yeah. So it's gonna be dope. And I think the big piece, kind of to what your point is that like we have this view of making sure that we just play music. It's not a competition. Like it's all love. Right. End of the day, there's so much music out there. There's really no need for people to be repeating music. Like you can get forward and so can I. We can both eat. Like you know what I mean. Like so it's gonna be a good look.
So. But
you now.
Now I'm still in the planning phases.
Okay.
I might be bringing my birthday party back this year. Everything now is talking.
He's bringing it back. He's bringing it back.
We
Hey, I'm gonna make sure he brings it back.
So it might be we talking about it. Like I said, I'm waiting to see how. Basically, I'm not pressed to do it because I have the mindset of if all the stars line up the way I want to, because I want to make sure I bring a quality event. Sure. So it's like, if I'm putting pieces together and certain things aren't lining up, I'm just not going to do it.
I feel. But
once everything lines up, if they do,
right,
that's going to happen again. So we're aiming for the end of April.
Which I think is a good time frame to give us some space for the stars to align.
Right. That gives me time to fully.
So like I said, it's going to happen. Just come on, man.
Other than that, a couple other people doing things. Sekou got some stuff coming.
Okay.
The Hookie Crew, they do what they do. That's supposedly.
I can't wait. I'm waiting. I'm like, come on.
That's what I'm saying.
Are y'all gonna say something?
I'm sitting here like checking the page, like that's not a flyer. Okay, I'm just like, what? That's old stuff. So
right,
fellas, come now, Lovie.
Do something now.
Right. So what's been going on in the world?
It's okay. Before we even jump into it,
yeah,
like it's wild how in a 7-day period, so many things can happen.
You know what the worst part of it is? Not even that so many things can happen. So many things that we talk about get heavily updated.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, damn, this it's like it's a series.
Right. Like we just talked about all of these things, most of them. So, real quick before we even dive into that, shout out to Lovie Smith getting the token higher. So the Texans promoted Lovie Smith. I
didn't even know.
So it happened today.
Okay.
And congrats, big up to Lovie.
Sure.
But it just feels like
let's do this because this other shit was going on.
The word is that they were dead set. They had someone else in mind.
Sure.
Josh McCown, and he was coming from like high school at this point.
Okay.
And it was almost like the league pulled a Jay Prince, and
they were
like,
"No, you can't do that. Nope. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work at all.
Not now.
Read the room.
Right. Maybe you could have done that last year.
I wonder how many incentives the Texans got to like have to change, because they probably had to get some incentives. Like, look, we know.
Right. We know this is what you want.
Just like hold this real quick.
Pick like they probably gave him like pick one of these guys. Like this is your new head coach. I don't care which one.
It's just like Sleepy Joe and the Supreme Court Justice.
Yeah, it was like
it's one of these. I don't care if there's better ones out there. It's
here, right here, right now. So shout out to Lovie Smith. There was another one, Michael McDaniel or Mike, he got Brian Flores' old job.
Okay.
He identifies as multiracial. You wouldn't know what to look at him, but you identify as what you identify as. I don't know what his family's background is. So technically 2 minority hires were. So again, the NFL probably leaned on them teams like, guys, just fix it. Right. Fix it now. So what else was there? So crazy video. And we don't even have to talk too long about this.
What crazy video is this?
A video that makes me say, if my girlfriend ever says she's going to a sip and pay,
dog,
I'm gonna have to ask for details. There's no more have a good time with the girls. Like
I need some more.
Like insight. I need to see a flyer. I need to know.
I need you to FaceTime me while at this event.
Right, like, something.
I'm gonna be there with you.
Like, right, something. You and the girls not just.
Okay, so I was just taken aback, like so far, solely because. Like, she felt bold enough to do this.
And if anybody doesn't know what video we're talking about, if you go to Twitter and you type in sip and stroke, it'll pop up. Son.
Yeah, but it was like, all right, so video aside, right? Like, let's say there wasn't a video.
Right.
Right?
Just the fact that
you felt bold enough to just start doming up the model.
You know what the crazy thing about that is, though? Then that makes me wonder, how often does this happen at these, like, erotic sip and paints?
Was that? Oh, that's right. He was a model for that.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm now thinking, is this the norm, and this person just happened to slip their phone in and violate the rules?
I think we should ask any ladies, if you've been to an erotic sip and paint, does this happen? Is this normal?
Have you ever seen someone just?
We know you didn't do the sucking, but have you seen someone do it?
Do we know that they didn't?
I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt, sir.
Have you ever been at an erotic sip and paint and decided,
I want to slob on something?
Right. And like, dog, imagine like her friends, like you go there with her, and all of a sudden you painting, and you're like,
wait, what?
What are you doing? Like,
but you know what though? Who really wants to go to an erotic sip and paint though? What is the? I understand the concept of just sip and paint.
The person who wants to go to a strip club, like the woman who would go to.
Right.
But then again, having never been to a male strip club, do the women typically dome off the strippers?
I don't think so.
Right,
but I don't know.
All right. So that was that. I just had to.
They could tell us that too.
Please let us know if this is something you've ever experienced. You out with your girls at a sip and paint and
or at a male strip club,
wherever, and your friend just go buck wild. So, or if you just went buck wild and want to remain anonymous,
hey, you know what? Okay. We don't shame anybody.
I don't judge. I do not judge publicly. So,
out loud.
Yo. So I just saw a video. The crazy thing was we had everything that we were gonna talk about today mapped out.
Right. And then boom.
Then white people just
started white peopling.
But I'm gonna say not that I'm giving anybody benefit of the doubt.
Sure.
I think the punishment was a bit severe.
Okay, so which one are we talking about now?
I'm talking about the sorority.
Okay, sure.
Right? So a video on Baller Alert. Was Baller Alert?
Baller Alert. Yeah, that's one I sent.
Where one sorority from an all-white school, or not all-white, predominantly. Yeah. But it was a predominantly white sorority.
Sure.
Was making fun of a historically black sorority.
One of the Divine Nine.
I don't know the names, Greek letters combined in some, so whichever. Sure. But the sorority that was being made fun of was historically black, right? But in their making fun of them, they were literally...
They were just doing some of the moves that they would do like in a step show and the scrolls.
And they were doing it to make fun of them. It wasn't...
Without a doubt.
No question. It wasn't like they were trying to... They 100%. were making fun.
100%.
And the school suspended...
The sorority. While did like an investigation. Yeah.
Right.
So I'm realizing that we're in a world now. We've probably been in this world for a while, but we're in this world where everybody just wants to be fucking offended, right? Because to put this on pause for a second, I don't know if you watched Insecure.
I've seen an episode or two.
So this last season that just finished a couple months ago or whatever.
And it's still on?
No, it's done.
Insecure. I'm thinking Euphoria. My bad.
Yeah. No, Euphoria is that's. But we would have to have an episode just for that. Yeah. But anyway, with Insecure, Amanda Seales' character is an AKA, and she wore the letters on the show because again it's a fictional fucking show, wearing the letters, which to me actually kind of pays homage to the sorority less than like ridiculing or making it seem like she is able to wear the letters without doing the work. I don't know what the rationale was. The point is like we literally have somebody on TV literally hyping your sorority up, and real members are like, not all, because there were some people who were like, this is ridiculous, the uproar is stupid, like cut it out. Right. But the fact that anyone was offended just like shows me that people just looking to be offended.
And so as someone who was not into Greek life, I don't do,
neither am I.
So I saw other people discussing it, the same Amanda Seales situation, and some of them were saying something along the lines of, she didn't get permission to use the letters or something. Like they were getting into a lot of the nuances and the technicalities of it. And I'm with you. I was like, I don't have to have been in the, every soldier that plays Tom Hanks was not a soldier when he saved Private Ryan. You know what I mean?
That's a perfect analogy. Yes. It's
right. TV, it's acting.
But you know what though? You remember American Sniper, Bradley Cooper?
Yeah.
So he's like super liberal.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
They were like, and I know total tangent. I remember like after he kind of came out talking about Trump, the amount of conservatives that were like, I'm not gonna watch any more Bradley Cooper movies,
except for the one that they
and because they look at him as like this typically, not I won't say typically, but conservative military man, like just killing everybody, whatever, and. Same like Amanda Seales. He was like, yeah, that's a character on a movie.
Yeah, I was acting.
Totally acting.
I was not a Navy SEAL.
That's not me.
I've never been a sniper.
I've never shot a gun for real. Like, I just know how to. It's wild. But here's the thing, though, right?
Like, Christian Bale is not Batman, guys. Newsflash. He's not.
So, but to take it back to the Man of Seals thing real quick, like, the wild part about it is you can literally buy any paraphernalia you want without having to show I am this or I am that. So it's like, just pump your brakes.
That's exactly. Like, stop
it's not being offended.
Stop being offended about everything.
Right.
Like, it's like, and this notion that, well, because we went through this to be a part of this.
Right.
So no one else can portray this. I'm like, yeah, there's people who went through hell to be in the military.
Yeah.
And they're not mad at Josh Hartnett for being in Black Hawk Down, you know?
I'll bring it back to real life shit real quick. So my son's grandfather, right? So not my dad, clearly.
Yeah.
He, like, first time I met him, Iron Man. So this dude is, like, now in his 70s, but, like, in better shape than all of us. Right? And he came in second place in his age group or whatever. And they, at the end of it, they always give you swag. Yeah. So, like, he got, like a workout shirt.
Yeah.
He ain't want it. He was like, hey, you want it, Dre? I was like, sure, why not? So one day I'm running. And I honestly don't really care what I typically run in.
Yeah.
So I just have this on, I'm running. And, like, and somebody stops me. It's like, oh, which race? I was like, oh, no, it's not mine. And I was like, my father-in-law gave it to me. He finished or whatever. And the dude was like, you shouldn't wear that. I was like, yeah, I don't really give a fuck. Right. Like, just kept on running. I'm like, I didn't say that I finished. I literally told you somebody gave it to me. Like,
and that's the thing. I felt like, well, you needed to have completed the. Like, no, I didn't. Actually, I could have bought this. I could have printed this.
I could have made this shit myself. Right, so. But back to the sorority, like, it's just it's sad. We've gotten to the point where, like, there were no racial epithets. There was no words. I tried.
They were listening to Capella Gallus in the background,
and they were doing a thing, and it was honestly I chuckled because I was like, they look so bad doing it.
They looked ridiculous,
right? But I was like, you know what?
And let me. I understand they were trying to make fun of them, so yeah, by all means, you could be like, and I saw a lot of people in the comments talking about, oh, they want to be us so bad. And I'm like, yeah, like, that's appropriate. Like, you make fun of them for how ridiculous they look. For sure. Trying to mock us because they don't have that it factor. And I'm not even saying all white people. I'm saying these particular girls didn't have it.
At all.
At all. Not,
they also, like I said, didn't say anything. They weren't in blackface. Like, they were just looking stupid, making fun of someone.
I think it was an overreach by the university to suspend them. I'm not about to die on a hill that they should, like, whatever. It happened. But at the same time, I'm like, let's kind of pump the brakes on how we are dealing with some of these things. Because remember, this wasn't the worst. This wasn't the most egregious act.
It's not even close.
Right. And I'm not saying you need to wait for the most egregious act, but make sure that when you punish someone, it's right. Like, it fits the crime.
It comes down to this for me, right? Like, and I feel like this is the direction we're going in. Mm-hmm. So, partly already there. Some people just don't even say anything anymore at all. They're like, I know that if I say this, I'm going to offend someone, so I'm just not even, like, willing to say this thing, right? But then, I think on the flip side, you're going to have, and we've already started to see this with, like, our last president. You know, some people who just don't care anymore. They're like, I'm going to get in trouble regardless. Let me just say whatever the fuck I want to say or do whatever the fuck I want to do. And then we're going to have people, like, actually offended. So I think we need to, like, steer the reins a little bit.
Right.
Be like, all right, like, some of these things aren't that important.
Not that important. Some of these things
aren't important at all. You're right.
Or aren't even offensive. Like, are you really? Was anyone really hurt or offended by it? It was like, oh.
What's the movie with Gabrielle Union? The dance movie?
Bring It On.
I mean, to me, this was almost
someone literally said that in the comments. Like, this is giving Toros versus West Compton. I was like, yeah, that's what this was. So now that whole on the topic of watching what you say, though, someone needs to deliver that message to old Joe Rogan.
Well, yes and no. Yes and no, but go ahead.
No, why you say yes and no? I want to know why you say yes and no.
So yes, because clearly, like, the shit he has been saying over the last already years. The difficulty, and I loosely say difficulty here, is that, like, he's now paying for the sins of who knows how old some of these clips are.
And how sustained.
Right. And I'll also say, and this is not to defend him at all, right? Mm-hmm. But it's really easy to put together a collage of video clips or sound bites without any context. And again, I'm not giving him any back here, I know you're right? Not, but like, you can make it sound way worse than it was. It's still still egregious, but like you can make it sound so much worse when all you do is like narrow down on one word the entire time without any context.
Here's the thing, though. I would normally agree with you, except for the word they narrowed down.
No, you're right.
So you know what I'm saying? Everything you said is true,
but yeah,
but this time,
it very much reminds me of the conversation we were having off camera about Paula Deen, right? It's like he's way too young.
Nah, he don't.
He's way too young to get a pass at all. Like I agree. Like yeah.
So for anybody who isn't up to it, you know, last week we discussed Joe Rogan and the backlash from Spotify.
Sure, correct.
A bunch of artists pulled their streaming stuff off of Spotify.
Right.
So,
but it was under the premise of misinformation around
on
COVID.
Vaccines, right?
Which, by the way, did you see? There's a video of him like saying how important vaccines are.
I haven't seen that.
I'm gonna send it to you.
Okay,
I'm gonna send it to you.
But so, what was funny was right after that came out, I happened to be watching a clip from Joe Budden's podcast.
Okay.
And they were talking about Joe Rogan. It was after we had recorded is when I saw it. And Ish was mentioning that I don't actually care about all these people boycotting him because of the vaccine thing, because nobody boycotted him when he was doing saying all this stuff over here. Right. So this, and I don't watch Joe Rogan's podcast. I've never seen an episode. I may have caught a clip somewhere by accident. And you could tell I'm not their marketed to demographic. Right. Even when I'm scrolling through Facebook,
it doesn't even come
what'll pop up is like Joe Budden, Drinks Champs, different podcasts that are more catered towards what
you are interested in, right?
So anyway, Ish goes on and he says that, and I'm like, damn, I didn't know this video existed.
Sure.
Like a couple of days later, NDRE, I guess, made a clarifying statement like, I didn't pull my music because of the vaccine stuff.
Right.
That's them. I pulled my music because of this.
Right. And actually, so if you dig even a little bit deeper into what she said, it makes even more sense as to why she pulled away. Because, and we'll talk about this a little bit later, because she's not the only one that even says this part. Mm-hmm. She even ended up saying, like, I'm not saying that Joe Rogan's a racist. Mm-hmm. She flat out said that. She was like, I do believe that he's insensitive to black people, whatever. But the rationale behind her pulling it, though, was we get paid, I think it's 0.003% of a penny per stream. And Spotify is collectively using all of the artists that are on to then pay Joe Rogan $100 million. And she's like, well, I don't want to pay him.
Right. Like, I don't want to. You're already not paying me.
right. And I was like, you know what? Race aside, that totally makes sense.
And you're benefiting off of my work and then using the money from us musicians to subsidize and pay for
somebody who's doing this, right.
So, and if you haven't heard the videos or the clips, I suggest, I'm not going to post it, but just check out NDRE's page, because she posted it.
Sure. Or Trevor Noah's,
Trevor Noah did a thing on it. Kev on Stage did as well.
I mean, everybody has.
Right, because
Google
at this point,
N-word Joe Rogan and you'll see it.
Because they have a whole collage of him,
It's so much. Oh my gosh.
Let me tell you something. As somebody who says it, I was a little bit like, oh God, this is a lot. Like, this is a bit much.
Like, I ain't gonna lie.
And granted, it was because it was all grouped together in a collage.
That's what I was saying earlier, right. But I will say this though, right? And again, I will never give him a pass for this.
Yeah.
His apology for this one, because there was an apology first for the misinformation.
Yes.
Now there's an apology for this one. The apology for this one, like, I don't think it was disingenuous. I think that he was when he was speaking, I feel like he was just like, yeah, that was hard to fucking watch myself.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm one of those people who I can say, like, with Indiari, I don't know if he's a racist. Right. And because
I don't know enough to determine that. Right.
I don't know him, and I don't immediately say because for me racism is about more of a, I actually have these feelings towards you. I think, like she said, he is
insensitive.
He doesn't give a fuck.
Right.
And because he's never been checked on it.
Correct.
You know?
Correct.
So if I don't care and no one's checking me, so it's like, I remember when I did not know certain terms were offensive to certain groups.
Sure.
And I would just say them liberally because these are words that I just knew.
It was the norm for us.
Right. And then when I was told, hey, that is offensive to this group, I'm like, oh, shoot, I stopped saying it. Not because I would never said it with any like malice. Sure. I didn't know it was what I was told.
Right.
You know, so.
I mean, shit, even the term, like even the N word for us, like us using it, if you think about it, like it's been normalized for us. Mm-hmm. But if we were told early on, like, you shouldn't use this language and we weren't hearing it, we would probably not even be using it. Right.
And I'm not even giving Joe Rogan the excuse that I just used for me. Like, you knew what that word was. You knew.
Without a doubt.
You knew exactly how offensive that word was.
He's way too young.
Right. And more importantly, like, someone had posted, like, the N-word was right there. Like, you could have said the N-word.
You could have said the N-word, right.
Yeah, that was right there. You know what I mean?
Like, no, I wanted to say nigger.
I wanted to,
with the hard R.
So he got a little bit of pleasure out of saying it. I don't care what anybody tells me.
100%.
And I don't know that it was a matter of racism or just a feeling of, I want to be able to say this. Because, you know, there's a lot of white people that just...
They just want to be able to say it.
Right. They might not even hate black people. They just want to be able to...
I will go further. There's some that I know love black people, but still just want to be able to say the shit.
Right.
Right? And I think...
It's like that kid that you tell you can't press that button.
Right.
And now all of a sudden it's like that button looks like the greatest thing in the world.
Right.
And again, not giving anybody a pass.
Right.
Because no, you can't say it.
Right.
Still.
But it goes back, and I know that some people, some of my friends included, white friends that is, may have an issue with this, but I feel like embedded in the culture of whiteness is imperialism. It's like, I want everything. I want a piece of that. So like, you can't say it by yourself. I should be able to say this too. Right? Like, and no, for this one, you just can't. Like, honestly, just one thing you can't do. Just don't do that.
Right, just let. But that's the thing, though. Like you said, when you're able to do everything.
Right. Correct.
The minute you tell someone, accept this, it was like, take it back to the storybook about Adam and Eve in the garden, right? And
nigga had the whole fucking garden.
Like, you can eat.
Eve is like, you know what?
Everything.
The forbidden tree is looking really fucking good. Right
except this. Just this.
And all it took was a snake being like, hey, yo.
Right.
You're not going to die. Don't worry.
So you see what I'm saying? It's like, so it goes. But the worst part of the Joe Rogan thing to me, or I think it was actually worse.
Okay.
Than the N-word part.
Oh, yes.
Was the
Planet of the Apes.
Was the movie theater part. So
oh my God.
So apparently he's going to this movie. Joe Rogan was going to a movie. He was going to see Planet of the Apes.
And for some reason, he wanted to see it in a black neighborhood.
Right. For some,
which I like. Right. That in itself is like, why?
The start of it was a problem. I was like,
what is the rationale behind wanting to see it in a black movie theater?
Like it wasn't
because to be honest with you, look, and I love my people. I ain't gonna lie. I particularly don't like going to movies in certain neighborhoods because motherfuckers talk too much. Chair and shit. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
I'll take it a step further. It wasn't like a black movie. So what do you need to see it in a black neighborhood for, right?
See, I wouldn't even go that far.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, wait a minute. What made the experience better? It's Planet of the Apes.
You know what? You just unlocked a whole different dimension of that shit.
That's what. That was the first thing I thought. Like when he first said that. So then, like, insisted on going to a black movie theater in a black neighborhood.
And goes in a fucking Uber or taxi and asks, and is this a good neighborhood?
And then, like, when he said, like, and then I walked in there and I was in Planet of the Apes. Like, I was in Africa and I was like, really, my nigga? right. Hang on. Hang on.
The fact that he felt comfortable enough
to say
that shit.
Planet of the Apes, though.
Like, and the thing is this, right? Even if he thought it, the fact that he felt comfortable enough to fucking say it on a podcast,
right,
shows a level of entitlement that he has as Joe Rogan.
Bruh. So
like, I was just like, nah, I didn't hear it. I had to listen to that clip a couple times. I was like, this doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense at all.
So as far as Joe, so that's, and he apologized for that too. And honestly, that apology, while I agree with you where it felt like he knew what he said was fucked up,
right?
His apology didn't offer anything because it was
100% agree.
It was like, you know, I didn't meant to be like, nah, but you let's say I take the word racist out of it. Your statement was
still super fucking insensitive.
Right.
India.Arie nailing the head.
Insensitive, stupid, like clearly dismissive of culture, like clearly like y'all are less than me. Like it was almost like you did not you did not even you had a sense of superiority that you could say that about this group of people. Right?
And the wild thing about it though, or not because all of this is
the
wild.
Whole story.
But like an additional wild piece was so after his initial apology, but not specifically the second apology with like after the N-word video comes out, you see like The Rock jumps out and in support of him. You see Andrew Yang jump out in support of him, and like both of them like backed off after this video came. It was like, you know what? I retract my statement.
But dog, that's almost like us. Like last week, we talked about Joe Rogan,
and we were like canceling him doesn't really make sense.
Then this video comes like,
it's like the Homer meme, like
back into the tree real quick, dog. Like, my bad.
But this shit was crazy.
So apparently Spotify has
they're backing him still.
They're backing him still, but they
removed all the episodes that had like references. Apparently,
right? They're trying to remove all of the stuff that's offensive from however many years of this podcast.
Bro, this is fucking
right. So
years.
Have fun with that, Spotify.
They got like 70 so far,
and apparently what they're gonna do is they've already paid him, but they're gonna take $100 million.
Right.
And use it to now uplift podcasts or stuff by marginalized groups. So, hey, Spotify, marginalized.
Hey, we're a very marginalized
group here. So, just saying, y'all got $100 million to spare. Feel free.
Share it now.
Feel free.
No, for real. No, that makes sense. I mean, like, what else can they do? It's
right, but it's almost like saying, yeah, we admit that he's wrong, but we already paid him $100 million, and he brings us so much
revenue. Yeah.
So we're not getting rid of him. No.
Yeah.
What we will do though, we're gonna try to bring you out. It's kind of like the NFL. Like, okay, there's 32 coaches.
Right.
We're gonna hire 2. Whole lot.
This also reminds me of like Netflix and Dave Chappelle. The difference though is like Netflix just straight up said we're not taking this thing off, and they didn't do anything.
No.
To try to like repair anything. They're just like, we're not taking them off.
Because Netflix was also like, it wasn't even just a money thing with Netflix.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure that was part of it. They already had a business deal with Netflix. But it was like, to Dave Chappelle's point, you guys are taking this, and if you listen to the entirety, because again, there's context here.
Correct.
If you listen to the entirety, he's actually not being offensive.
Exactly.
So you're literally just taking this one part and saying this is it. Versus Joe Rogan, who I don't care what context you're using it in.
Sure.
You can't say nigger that many times.
You just can't say it.
Right.
You just can't say it. Like,
you just can't say it.
Right.
But like even Trevor Noah gave some examples. Like if you're reporting a news story,
you could say the N-word.
Right. You could say the N-word, but let's say you said it, right? Because you're in court, and you have to quote what the person said to you.
And the judge says, please say the exact same. Yeah.
There are times where it has to be done.
Right.
This ain't one of them, Joe Rogan.
At all.
You could have absolutely. So you made that choice. Dave, a little bit different.
Right.
So I'm with Netflix on how they handled it.
And what's even wilder, like, so the thing is this, right? There's so much technology out there. He could have literally created like a button or something like that. That every time he presses it, it says the word, but someone else saying it, like a black person saying it. And still gotten his point across, because essentially what he was saying was, at least in his apology, that every time he said it, it was in reference to someone saying something or whatever it is. I ain't gonna give you the benefit of the doubt, but let's say that's what it was.
Yeah.
You could have had someone else say that, or a soundbite say it, or you could have like pressed a damn button to have like the bleep out something.
You could have went low tech and just still used the N-word, dog. Like you could have went real low tech. You ain't had to add. You ain't had to spend another $1 on technology, dog.
You're right.
Super low tech.
I'm just looking at it from a marketing standpoint.
I got you.
You're right.
So on to
before there, like I think an extension of this though is TikTok. And no, like I mean, so it's funny, but it's not, right? Like so, TikTok is changing their guidelines.
Yeah.
Their community guidelines. And so what is it? So they are going to be banning. Is it banning?
Yeah.
So it's. I remember it. It's misgendering.
Misgendering.
Dead naming.
two things I did not know what they were.
Right, I had to send you a voice note on that. Misogyny, and then there was, I think, one more, right?
Like, and anything that's promoting conversion therapy.
Conversion therapy, that's what it was. Right.
Eating disorders.
Right.
So, like,
I don't even know why I brought it up, but yeah, I do. So the reason why I said it was because it's very, like, just the whole mindset of now Spotify trying to repair the issue that they have with Joe Rogan. Clearly, it's to me publicity. It's they want to be able to say they did something.
Right.
Check the box
Absolutely.
thing. With this, like, I'm not knocking it because I'm not on TikTok, so I don't know enough about this to actually even have a strong opinion.
Right.
But what I will wonder though is, like, how much misgendering, dead naming, misogyny
is happening, or
and like how much of all of that is happening on the platform right now. One, but then two, that's causing damage in some capacity, right? Because my deeper point is this. So often we are trying to police what people say and what people do.
Right.
But at the end of the day, like, if I don't watch your thing, if I don't listen to your thing, I can't be offended by it.
Right. No, I agree.
Like, even down to this podcast,
right.
If you don't rock with us, share, but don't watch. Right?
Like, tell a friend. They may like
tell
it.
a friend, right?
But you don't watch.
You don't watch, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
no, I'm with you.
You know, so again, I don't know enough about it because, again, I'm not on TikTok. But, like, I wonder how much this is happening because, I mean, I feel for people who need to be protected, but it's like, at what cost though? Like, by doing this, how much are we really saving? How much are we really protecting these people?
It's like, I'm not walking into a Klan rally and getting mad that they called me a nigger. You know what I mean? Like, I
spot on.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm
just not gonna go to a Klan rally.
Avoid the Klan rally. Like, that's kind of the
right.
Like, just don't look away.
Right.
And I'm not saying look away in the sense of ignore atrocities.
Sure.
I'm saying if there is an atrocity, that's one thing. But if some private person is being mean on their account,
right,
you can not follow them, not watch them. You can block them.
Correct.
And if you block them, they can't even message you, so you can't see anything they're doing. Like, I think, like, to your point, there's so much over-policing from some of the agencies now that are trying to overcorrect things that may have been, that were wrong.
Sure.
But in an attempt to correct it, they are now kind of over-policing free speech.
Right.
And we have to kind of draw lines. Like, there are things that are still protected versus, yes, your right to feel safe is protected. This person's right to speech is protected. Now, his speech should not make you feel unsafe.
Right.
But your feeling unsafe should also be reasonable. Like,
I'll even go a step further with you on the freedom of speech piece, right? Like, when we really need freedom of speech is not when we say things that people like. Mm-hmm. When we really need freedom of speech, it's when we're saying something that people don't like. And I know that sounds like a crazy concept to some people, but ultimately, if we can't say the things that people don't like, then it mutes anything that could potentially challenge to cause growth, to cause healing. Like, because everything that you don't like doesn't mean that it's actually offensive. Right. It could just mean that you don't like it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so that's kind of where I am on that. I guess we'll see. I mean, I won't because I'm not on TikTok. So, like, unless somebody shows me something, yeah, I will be completely oblivious to what's going on TikTok anyway.
TikTok is a rabbit hole, dog. It's a black hole.
I refuse. So I have a TikTok account, mm-hmm, but solely because I'm now in the era where as a platform opens up, I go and grab my handle just because I don't want someone else grabbing it. So, like, the same BJ Hazard music that I have on Twitter, that I have on Facebook, that I have on Instagram, I have on Snapchat, I have on TikTok, but I don't use any of these things because I'm just not. I'm not part of that age group. Like, I don't get. I think some of this stuff is dope.
Yeah.
Some of the creatives on there are super dope, but I'm also like, where do you find the time? But they also are getting paid off this. So like,
there was also a whole pandemic too. Like,
yeah, you know, during the pandemic, I read a lot, and I watched like Netflix. Right? So I didn't have time to be like staging like
no, but I
bullshit.
know I know people my age who they don't post, but they'll get on TikTok and then they'll just start swiping.
I can't do that. I can't do that.
It's a black hole, dog. It's a complete black hole.
But all social media is though at that point.
I feel like Instagram and Facebook are not as
bad
because like the way the TikTok is set up with like the reels.
Okay.
Like the minute you're done with one, another one. Cause it's kind of like watching the reels on Instagram.
Okay.
And another one just pops up, and another one, and another one. So now you'll like, you've found that you spent a bunch of time just watching these videos, and some are funny and some are not, and some are whatever. Like I have a coworker older than me who is constantly seeing stuff on there that's funny because it's a black hole for her, and she would send me them. So like I would only see stuff because I would get sent the video. But then as soon as I clicked on the video and watched it, then another thing pops up afterwards. And I don't go down the rabbit hole as much.
I don't have time or energy for that shit. Like, I'd rather talk to somebody. Like, I'd rather record this shit. Like, let's be real.
So, your boy Kanye.
Yo, you gonna stop calling these ridiculous people my boy and my girl. But yeah, Kanye.
Oh my God, I know we literally
he just don't stop, bro.
We said last week
that we weren't gonna do this anymore.
But Jesus.
But he's like he's made it almost impossible not to.
So I'm going to try to like map this out right for myself. So they get the divorce. I didn't even realize the divorce was real because nothing on social media is real, right? So you hear, hey, Kanye and Kim are getting divorced. They're split, blah, blah, blah. I dismissed it. Then time goes on. I'm like, oh, shoot, she's dating other people. Like, I guess they are split. So,
and by the way, Pete Davidson actually he referenced himself having a girlfriend, and she's the only one that he's with. So allegedly, they're a couple based off of Pete at least.
Okay,
which
good for them.
I rock with Pete off that.
So. They're divorcing.
Right.
Or divorced, whatever. I don't know if they're where they're at.
Honestly, who cares? But go ahead. Yeah.
He has been on social media.
Acting like a fucking child.
Absolutely, like, handling this poorly, to say the least.
Bro.
And...
I wish I was one of her lawyers.
Right.
Because I would be like, oh, this is good. I mean, granted, I'd be charging her for all this, but I'm like, I just want to go... Of course you can. I'm just going to go through all the shit that he's saying. And I'm going to and the same kind of montage they made of Joe Rogan, I'm making a montage of all the bullshit he's been saying.
And and that's the crazy thing that you brought up lawyers, because when he went to Instagram first, he was like, this is my first divorce, since this is my first divorce, how do I keep...
It was a little dig.
Right, like, how do I keep my kids off of TikTok if they're on there against my will? And the first thing I thought was, first off, shut the fuck up. First of all, like, because you can't control everything, bruh.
Oh, that's where you're starting?
And that's where I'm starting.
That's where okay, go.
Because here's what I mean by that. Like, you've gotten in a situation where now she's left you. You're not over that. Stay in Pete. You're not over that. And
that honestly, that has to be the hardest part for him. Which is stupid because it doesn't really matter.
Right.
It's all ego at that point, but it's like, damn, she left you with Pete, bro.
Right. But now you're worried about because you said I said, hey, you can't have my kid on social media. Right, it's also my kid.
Sure.
So whether you agree with parents having their kids on social media or not, it doesn't matter. That's
right.
It's two parents involved, and one is clearly the custodial parent in this situation.
And I'll even throw in here that we both have a vested interest in this particular topic as parents who are not with the other parent,
right? And
having to navigate the things that are even worth trying to. I don't want to say control, because control is never going to be a thing for me. I'm sure it's not based off of how you roll. It's not control for you either. But it's based off the things that you're even willing to say, hey, I don't think this makes sense here.
Right.
But we also don't go on social media on
and that's my problem, right? I could completely disagree with something that's done. and we can talk about it like adults.
Sure.
And at the end of that conversation, I may not get the thing I want.
Correct.
You may stand and say, no, well, this is how it's going to be.
Right. I'm also the primary fucking caregiver. So
as an adult, I understand that, hey, we are sharing the responsibility of raising this child.
Sure.
There's some things I'm going to get my way on, some things I'm not.
Yep.
Some things she's going to get her way on, some things she's not.
Correct.
Some things we're both going to be happy with the outcome.
Yep.
He immediately goes to social media, and this is the craziest part about it for me. He has the means and resources to hire an attorney, have the mediation set up, have them work out what the terms are and everything. He has the means to do this completely above board. He has the time.
Yep. Nothing but time.
Huh?
Nothing but time.
For me, let's say we get into an issue or whatever with our significant other, kid's parent. Let's say I was married and getting a divorce, right?
Sure.
Now I need to come up with lawyer money, time to go to court, back and forth in court, paying fees, all this other stuff. And while I'm working, so I can't just take off from work to do this. I don't have the means or necessarily, I may not have the means or time to go into a long drawn out battle to get some of the stuff taken care of. I'm not saying that Kanye should do that, but I'm saying that there are ways, right? If you really feel like you're being slighted,
right?
But you're such a fucking child that your first thought is, let me go to Instagram and try to shame my kid's mom.
Dog. So like Shaq said it best. I don't know if you saw, like, and this was a while ago, but like Shaq goes, I have no sympathy for Kanye because he already puts everything online, right? Like, and granted, his message was way longer than that, but I summarized it. And essentially, like, that's what it is. It's like, bro, one, you're putting everything on Kanye, on Instagram or Twitter or whatever it is, to get like an audience. Exactly. So there's that aspect of it, which is like just sad in general. The other part, particularly in this particular situation, you mad about your kid being on fucking social media, but you're using social media to actually like complain about your kid. Be like, the dimensions of the stupidity, just like, it's to the point where even if what you're saying makes sense, it sounds stupid right now. It
sounds stupid with the platform you're choosing.
Yeah.
Like,
we don't need to be a part of this conversation.
Why do we know all of this?
So, I saw the funniest meme this week. It was like, Kim and Kanye, please kick us out of the group chat.
Right.
I was like,
dog, like,
we don't want to be part of this shit.
You know what the crazy thing is when you think about it, and we're not even like trying to compare like celebrities, right? But like, think of like the successful celebrity couples that you could think of, right? Sure, they've had issues. Denzel and his wife. LeBron and Savannah. Could even go
Lisa Bonet and
Jason Momoa, right?
Jason Momoa, sorry.
Could even go Beyonce and Jay-Z.
Sure.
Right?
Nah, you can't use that one because Beyonce made a whole album about this.
Right, but I was going to use that example specifically for this, right? Okay. They dealt with their shit.
All right, so you're saying, okay.
Right?
Okay.
And then, as two business people, was like,
and I'm sure he knew ahead of time, like, I'm about to make, she was like.
He was on one of the songs.
No, you know what, look. Right.
Let's get this money. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's done now.
We're good. We're healed.
We're good. We're together. We're back together.
Let's make this money. No, that's a good fucking point.
It's even like Will and Jada. When the the entanglement, right? When that thing came out, when August kind of made his statement when he was on the show or whatever,
sure.
And it kind of came out like, oh shoot, this is what was going on. Right. They got together and was like, all right,
how do we handle this shit?
Because they had already obviously dealt with it, moved on, they'd healed. So now they're like, red table talk, let's do it. You know what I'm saying?
No, you're right.
So it wasn't like they went on to spill the beans. They were clearing something up that came out. But these are people that even though they're so I don't even give Kanye the you're a celebrity
agreed
excuse because
he gets no excuse
because a lot of people are as famous or more famous than you, have been in the industry longer. But if we're going through X, we're going to deal with X. I'm not running to Instagram to tell my 10, 20, 100 million, I don't know how many followers, to tell my followers, oh, this is what she's doing, sharing screenshots from
correct.
I'm like, dude, grow the fuck up.
He and I didn't dig too deep into this, but he had posted in I don't know if it was one of his stories or whatever, but like he apparently gave someone Kim's number. Again, I don't know who the person was that he gave the number to, Like, it could have been a fucking close friend. I don't care. But the fact of the matter is, the way it's framed, you posted it on IG as a screenshot of someone asking for Kim's number and you giving it to them. Right. Like, dog, you asking for fucking trouble.
Yeah, like, I'm tired of the mental health excuse with Kanye. Like,
that's not a thing anymore.
At this point, it's just, grow up. Like, sit down with your lawyers. Somebody in your circle that needs to have some fucking balls. Someone call Jay Prince to fucking get Kanye. Like, I don't care how this has to be.
Just handle it.
Keep us out of this, dog.
Let's just fucking handle it.
Keep us out of this. We're done. Like, this is because it's divorces and all that shit's already messy.
Dog, the funniest shit too is like, what's her name? Julia Fox.
Yeah.
Who he's apparently dating now.
Yeah.
Right? Like, she even is like, I don't want to be a part of this conversation anymore. She legit untagged herself from like a whole bunch of shit. She deleted all posts that had to do with him. Bro, apparently they're still dating, but like,
yeah, she don't want to be in the circus.
She's like, I just don't want to be part of this conversation.
Right. Like, who wants to walk into this circus? If you're a sane, rational person.
Why is she and Pete Davidson the most like? Actually, I can't even knock it because Kim too are like they're the adults in this whole situation.
Yeah, Kim is definitely the adult. If you saw what Kim
posted, that's what
I've been trying to get him. Just have your lawyers.
I want to co-parent.
Right.
And that's exactly what she said, more or less. I just want to fucking co-parent.
Right. So your lawyers can talk to my lawyers. Like, we can work this out.
Right.
This shit you're doing here, fucking childish.
But bro,
but I also don't sympathize with Kim because
of course, though, there's no sympathy for anyone
because you knew what you was getting into.
Facts. So. And worse yet, and this is the part that I had the biggest problem with. Like, he tried to like weaponize the black community against her. It's almost like he doesn't realize that we have all the receipts.
Right, like we've been here though.
So after he was with Amber Rose, he was talking about how he got
shit on her.
He had to like not just shit on her. Well, that too, but like the extension of that, I had to bathe myself so many fucking times.
That's why I said shit on her. Like
to even be with Kim.
Right, like to big up your new girl.
Right, you had to shit on somebody else.
Completely bring down this person who adored you, didn't do nothing to you. So you were so happy.
Correct.
So happy to get with Kim.
Correct.
And now all of a sudden, this is what the Kardashians do. They'll bring a black man down while getting him out of prison. They play with our lives. I don't play about my black kids. And I was like, I read that. And I was just like, bruh, you got some fucking nerve. Bruh. Of all people. Bruh. Of all fucking people.
This is the same dude who met with Trump with a Make America Great Again cap. Looking like Cletus. Uncle Ruckus. I was going to say Cletus, but you know. Right? Like, again, we have the receipts.
Right. I could even let's say
nope.
No, let me tell you. Let's say I don't care about that, right?
I'm putting on the Shannon Sharpe.
Yeah, let me tell you. Let's say I don't care about that. Because he did so much. Let's say I don't care about that, right?
Mm.
You even got the what's the word I'm looking for? The ridiculous comment when you talk about like slavery was a choice.
Dog. All of that was a part of the
right.
But all that was in the Trump piece.
But it was in a separate interview where he was just talking. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I remember.
So. And so then now, you of all people,
bro. Like every time I hear that like slavery was a choice, I'm like,
I remember.
I'm like, really?
Dog, I remember the memes for that was hilarious, dog.
Dog, I'm like, bruh.
Black Twitter went ham.
Went
with that
ham.
One. They went ham with slavery was a choice, son. I'm gonna go look up some of them. I'm gonna look up that just to see the memes again. That shit was funny, son.
But like the fact that he even thought that shit was something worth thinking, but worse yet, saying.
Here's the thing.
At TMZ,
the beauty part, what I love is when people try to tell me how much of a genius Kanye is, and I'm like, no, he's not. You're just also stupid. Like that's all that means. It's not, Kanye's not a genius. You're just also fucking retarded. So, and that's fine. Like, because what I realize is that like, when someone is saying dumb shit and you want to make yourself feel like you are more intelligent than someone, so you will gravitate to that dumb shit.
Sure.
and think like, nah, y'all just don't understand. No, because I'm like, I understand what Kanye's saying. It's still retarded.
The clinical term is confirmation bias.
Right.
You're like, oh, the shit he's saying actually makes what I say sound good. It confirms what I'm saying.
It confirms what I want to believe. So
boom,
I'm gonna
okay, and it's like, nah, dog. Nah, dog. That's like the most I will say, and I know I've said this before, and I know you've even said you hate when people use the word genius. From a music standpoint,
he's not a genius.
I wouldn't say genius, but like from a music standpoint, he's definitely done some amazing things that sets him apart from everyone else. And like that's where I'll go. And I will own though, I've loosely used the word genius musically with him at points, not recently, but like in the past, because he's done some things where I'm like, I would have never considered this, but this shit works.
He's a very good producer.
Yeah,
he's not the best producer, but he's a very good producer. Yeah. He's a subpar rapper. But the combination, no, he is, Doug.
No, I'm not knocking. I'm laughing because, like, I agree. Like,
he's a very good producer. He's a subpar rapper, but he puts together good music. Like, you'll never hear anybody ask Kanye to come sit and do a freestyle. Like, you're not seeing him on Flex
at all,
dropping bars. Right? He's a subpar rapper, but a really good producer. So the music he puts out ends up being good.
Right?
Hasn't been that great lately to me, but whatever. I also did not listen to Donda, and I'm not going to.
Yeah, I haven't listened to it either.
So, but beside the point. That's it.
Right.
That's where the line is drawn. Everything else, I'm like, nah, you're fucking retarded. Like,
yeah.
And that's it. But Kanye, please, like we said, take us out the group chat. Like, just get your lawyers, have them contact Kim's lawyers. Y'all work out.
Oh, you already know next week we're gonna have something else to talk about. Like,
he gonna do some dumb shit.
He is. Like, come on, man. So, like, I really was not like. I really wasn't expecting it, and what made it even worse was when Candace Owens sided with them. I was like, bro, you have literally nothing now. Because, like, when Candace Owens starts defending you...
Bro.
Sorry.
That's why I always say, if certain people are...
like... defending what I'm saying, like
I'm gonna take a step back.
I gotta watch like what I'm saying. I gotta go and really figure out.
Now let me figure out where did I go wrong, because ain't no way we should be on the same side of any argument. So
I mean, he's a Trump supporter though, or he was a Trump supporter. So
who knows what he is now, dog? Kanye is a Kanye supporter. He does whatever is best for Kanye, and
this is true.
I don't know if you saw it. Like, so he has Future is supposedly the executive producer for the new album.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm actually looking forward to. I'm gonna listen to that album.
I'm not.
The only reason I'm going to listen to that album is this, though, right? Like
Joe Budden said, and I believe him, that's going to be the most toxic shit in the world. So.
That's actually why I want to.
I figured that's why.
Because the thing is, they're going to be some motherfucking bangers on the album. Well, there potentially could be. Let me put it that way. I'm not going to say it because I haven't listened to it, but there are potentially going to be some bangers on the album because of exactly that. And we as a people like toxic shit. But speaking of,
so wait, before
no, hold on. Have you seen? There is a interview. I only saw a snippet of it, but there's an interview between your boy Kevin Samuels and Future.
Was it an interview? I think he's in his music video or something.
So it's for the music video, but it's an interview.
I didn't see the interview,
and I only saw a snippet of it, and like Kevin Samuels just asks him a question about like how much he spent over the last year, and like he's like, for dinners and bags and whatever. So Future goes, like 2 or 3, and then Kevin Samuels like 1,000. That's not bad. Nigga goes, nah, millions, right. And then talks about how like when I see a beautiful woman, I just have to shower her gifts. Like, if that's not toxic as fuck, bro, I can't wait till I'm gonna actually listen to Donda too. I have to.
I hear you.
I have to.
You have to let me know how it was.
I'm playing it at your birthday party. I'm bugging you.
It's a quick way to not get paid.
I was saying, you know what? I actually want to get paid. So no. Actually, I want to get hired. Like,
right.
You're like, Tracy's gonna play Donda too. Oh, you know what? Yeah. You know what? I'm not gonna hire this guy.
Yo, so Joe Budden said something else that was funny to me. off the topic, but kind of on the topic of toxic shit. He was like, he's happy for A$AP Rocky and Rihanna.
Okay.
Because now we're going to get Take Care too.
Dog, like, we've been waiting for a Rihanna album forever.
It's not happening, dog.
I think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I think she has at least one more album in her.
Not no time soon.
I didn't say that. I didn't say soon.
I even heard, I heard on someone on the radio that there's talks that they're going to get married after the baby. Yeah, so they're like, son, she done, son. She's a billionaire, fashion mogul. She about to drop a...
So here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. So, and granted, I'm nowhere near Rihanna status, right? But, like, for me, DJing ain't about the money at all. Because I have a full-time gig that pays all my bills. Hold on, right? I'm straight on this side, right? But there's... Now, granted, I don't know if she has the same kind of passion, but there is a passion about the art craft itself, where like she knows that her last album wasn't the really last album.
But there's also a point, and I'm not saying she's never gonna make music again. I'm just saying it don't make no sense to wait for it. Like it's not coming now. It's just when it drops, but don't,
right? Like
don't be. Get out her DMs. Don't at her. Don't tag her asking for no new music.
Niggas start hitting A$AP
right.
like, yo, bro, when's your baby mama gonna come out with an album?
Real talk, you probably get a new album from him quicker
than her.
her so.
Nobody want to hear his album, though.
Because here go the next thing, dog. The other thing is, they got the one kid, right? Anyhow, they get hitched. There's another one.
Oh,
right?
he about to be knocking her up.
There's at least one more coming right behind.
One.
That's what I said at least. I said at least.
Bro,
right?
he's knocking that up for the next 3-4 years, at least.
So, like, new music?
Maybe she comes out with a pregnancy album.
There's going to be a pregnancy Fenty line, son. There's going to be a Fenty maternity line, son.
Fix your stretch marks.
Right. No, you ain't getting no new music, dog. Let that... Y'all people who waiting for that, let that one go.
You're right.
But Drake might drop that Take Care too, though. So just that might be what comes next.
Nah, you're right.
All right. Speaking of singers.
Oh yeah, we got to definitely.
Is she a gospel singer?
I don't know. I'm guessing so. It makes sense.
Yeah, because I've never heard of
but it doesn't really matter.
Right. So Kierra Sheard, am I saying that right?
Kierra Sheard, I think.
Okay. Saw this on the internet, and the best part of this, what I liked was this came in like 2 parts. So the first part was where they had her basically saying that she does not let her friends, her female friends, stay at her house.
Right.
Because she's married, and, her husband is there. And something to the effect of, like she said, she'll get them a hotel.
She'll put them in hotels if need be, yeah.
Right. Because she doesn't want them around her man, right? Or whether she verbally said that or not. Because
it was implied.
Right. I watched the video, and I don't think
she didn't say it that way, but it was implied, yes.
And then the internet ran with it, of course, as they always do.
Right.
And...
particularly Black Twitter. Because white people don't care. So, yeah. Let's put it out there.
Yeah. And so I want to kind of touch on that for a minute, right? Because I'm like, she did clarify in a follow-up, which added some context, which to me made sense.
Right.
Where it wasn't like, no, it's not like no single person. Like, obviously, if it's like a friend, someone I'm cool with or whatever, like, but of course with the internet, we take the clickbait and run with it. But it kind of brought up a valid point, because when I started to look down the comments to see what people were saying, you got the people who were like, no, I agree with that.
Yeah. So I think that there clearly are 2 sides to this.
Right.
Right? It's the I agree with it.
Yeah.
And then there are people like, just say that you don't trust your friends. People.
Right. And so my question now with something like that is, do you not trust your friends or do you not trust your man?
So I think that it's even deeper than that.
Okay.
Right? Like, I believe that at the end of the day, if you want to protect the sanctity of your thing, right? Your union, whatever you want to call it, right? It's let me remove all of the possible temptations around this. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, it does end up coming out to somewhat of a controlling thing, right? Because if
I should give you a phone with new numbers.
Right. I mean, clearly, right? Like, I mean, if we're really gonna play this out, then I'm almost certain she's not cool with him doing certain things.
Possibly, yeah.
Right. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like
it's beyond just this.
Correct.
Correct. Right.
So, like, I don't knock her because, end of the day, if you know your partner, right, and let's say for the most part your partner is a great partner, but like there might be
this is a weakness,
like, and not even just this is a weakness. Let's just say this is a weakness under certain circumstances.
Okay.
Right. Like so maybe not 100% of the time, but 30% of the time or 20% of the times, this might be an issue. Mm-hmm. Let me just remove this temptation completely. And, like, I don't knock her for it, right? Like,
I mean, I don't knock anybody.
I don't agree particularly, but I don't knock her for it either. I'm kind of in the middle. I'm like, I see both sides of it. Like, so I don't want friends who I don't trust. I also don't want a spouse who I don't trust.
So like, let me ask you then. Your wife's friend, you're married and your wife's friends are coming to town.
Yeah.
And she doesn't tell you, right?
Sure.
But you overhear her.
Sure.
Saying to, maybe not to one of them, like, man, nah, them bitches can't stay here, yo. You know, I got Dre in the house, blah, blah, blah. Ain't no way. They got to get a hotel, right?
Right?
So what are your thoughts on that? Like,
so personally, I don't care. Like, end of the day, if that's what my wife wants to do, that's what she wants to do. Me personally, like, I don't think I'd ever be married to somebody who is like that concerned about her friends.
Because I think finish what you're saying.
Right. I also don't believe that I'll be with anybody who's that concerned about me either, because usually they leave by the time
before
they're like, this is not the guy for me.
Before these problems surface, like, we don't even get to that problem. You got to cross all these bridges before we even get to this.
Well before that.
You're going to leave me long before we get to that.
Well before. Yeah, so that's where I am.
Because I guess, do I look at it, I'm like, okay, well, who don't you trust? Do you not trust your friends or do you not trust me?
Both.
Because, and then if it's both, I'm like,
why are you with either of them?
Right. Like, why are these people your friends?
Right. And if they're not your spouse?
And guess what? If they're not your friends, then I don't even think staying at the house would be an option anyway, right? If these are like associates, people I'm just cool with, people I used to be cool with, but we kind of grew apart, but we all getting together for whatever. Then I would expect that they stay in a hotel regardless. Like, we're not just inviting any. And I think, and to be clear, I think that was the point that she tried to clarify when she played the whole clip of the video, that it wasn't about friends. Like, I'm not just letting anybody stay here. Like, you coming over here, I don't get a hotel. But for like my friends, and I mean, I don't really have friends, but just saying like the people who
every time you say that,
right? I'm just saying though, but like.
But we're not friends, Rich?
But I don't have friends, bro.
We're not friends?
I don't know, bro. I'll see. We're going to find out in November, though. That's how I'm fucking with you. But look, son, look. So, let's say, boom, you hit me up, Rich, XYZ. Can I crash by you, right? Sure. I'm not going to be sitting there like, well, I don't want Dre by my house because I got a wife there. Because at the end of the day, if I either don't trust my wife around you or don't trust you around my wife, then we really ain't cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, then, not that we ain't cool. Then we're not friends, right? You might be somebody I'm cool with and be like, Dre is cool, but just don't bring him around your girl. Dre will try to fuck your girl. And there's people like that.
There's definitely people.
There's people like that. So there's limits and there's lines. So if you're somebody who I think, if you come around my girl, you're going to try to fuck my girl, then I'm not putting you in that category of a friend because...
So it's funny though, because I've been in relationships where relationship more or less. So my last relationship with Kai's mom, where friends have come over and stayed over or whatever. And it's interesting because for me, so I'm the type at home, normally like no shirt on. I'm just kind of walking around doing my own thing. Even when we had the au pair, like the moment that someone else is in our space, I'm like, all right, well, I've got to operate differently. So
because you're not just in your comfortable space.
Right. Anymore. So it's like shirts on now. Like I ain't gonna be wearing gray sweatpants.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna just do the things to make sure that there are no issues here. Right. I'm not gonna be alone in the house with this person.
Right.
Like, unless the kid is right there with me or something like it. There are a whole bunch of things that I'll do. Yeah.
Right. There's certain things that you do just to it's not even about fighting the temptation. It's like, you know what? I'm not even creating the opportunity for you to feel uncomfortable about anything. So we're going to avoid all that. And I get that too, which is why, like, even in their situation, I'm sure her and her husband know what they got and what they do. And that's the crazy thing with social media is when social media starts to react. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not in these people home.
At all.
So they have figured out what they have figured out.
Yep.
This ain't for y'all to judge, but like I said, it was just interesting to me to hear it, to see people's reactions. And I know for me personally, like I said, I would not put myself in those situations. Sure. You know, I would leave it up to my girlfriend, wife, or whatever at that point.
Right.
But I would also want to know, like, all right, just so we're clear, do you not trust me or do you not trust them? Like, where's the breakdown occurring? Because if it's me, like, that means
we have to talk about something.
A deeper conversation. Right. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. So I think, like, at the end of it all, though, what comes to mind is we have this way, and when I say we, I'm talking about society. We have this way of trying to put the views that we have on other people, right?
Right.
End of the day, if that works for them, that fucking works for them.
Bruh.
It's not my thing, but if it's your thing, great.
If you want to go to Sip and Stroke and suck a dick while you're painting, do your thing, babe. You're not going to be my girl.
Hey.
But if your boo is cool with that.
12.
So before we close out, the two worst airlines have decided to come together to become one terrible airline.
to become the 5th largest airline in the U.S.
That's fine, dog. The 5th largest, and I would still rather take a Metro bus.
Bruh.
Like, I'm not. Bruh. Frontier and Spirit emerging, and
well, it's more Frontier's acquiring Spirit.
Is that what it is? I know
they always call them merger and acquisitions, but the bigger company acquires the smaller company.
But it's like this. They're going to be like 51 to like 48, 51.5 to 48. Whatever.
Either way, right. Frontier is the owner.
So are they all just going to be Frontier now? Like, or are they
that part I don't know.
So
I will say I didn't fly either of them before. And the likelihood is that I'm not going to ever fly them again. Like, I flew Spirit once.
I've flown Spirit twice.
I've flown Spirit once. I flew Spirit 1 year going to Thanksgiving in Florida to link up with my family. Mm-hmm. And I had a girlfriend at the time. So it was a girlfriend right before Kai's mom. And when I realized the heights of the ridiculousness that they have, so it costs us more to bring a carry-on
than to check
a bag.
Yep.
So what we ended up doing, and I've never done this before, like, we packed a bag collectively, right, and then checked the bag, and then walked on a plane and got it. And luckily, we got the bag when we got to Florida. But yeah, I only travel carry-on. So anytime that, like, you're telling me it's going to cost me more to check for my carry-on than it is to like check a bag.
Right.
That's problematic in itself.
Because I would rather have it on the plane with me, especially if it's the size to get on the plane.
Bruh.
Though they nickel. The thing is, like, they're not even a cheaper airline at the end of the day.
Right, because once you add all
they've nickeled and dimed you.
Once you add everything on there, it's like I might as well go get my points on American.
And they're not even. And then you get on the plane, you got to buy water.
I buy everything.
They're not even giving. You don't even get a beverage. You can't get a little ginger ale. Like,
it's horrible, though.
It's a horrible. The seats are terrible. They don't recline. It's like sitting on a bus seat. I'm like I said,
it's Soul Plane, bro.
That's what I said. Spirit Airlines was a documentary. Soul Plane was a documentary for Spirit Airlines.
I believe it.
So now again, the two worst airlines have gotten together to form one giant airline that I will never fly on. And good, because now it's just one less thing I gotta when I do my searches. But except this one, I don't gotta click both of them now. One airline. So.
I'm American all day, so
congratulations, guys. But with that being said, this has been another episode of the Guys Unpacked podcast. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. Click the link. Tell a friend. If you're enjoying this, make sure you share it with your folks. We're available on all podcast platforms at Guys Unpacked. We're going to be back next week with another brand new episode for y'all.
That's right.
As always,
this is Dre.
And this is Rich. And we will catch y'all next week.
Boom.
We out.
If you enjoyed this, make sure you check out all our full episodes on YouTube at Guys Unpacked.
Also available anywhere you get your podcast, and follow us on all social media at Guys Unpacked.